Welcome again to another episode of the Washington SXM podcast. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click that bell to get notified whenever I drop a video. So we're gonna discuss what is Africa spirituality? What did Africans used to worship before it was colonized by the Westerners? The professor we're listening to tonight is Professor James Small. He's a lecturer, he's a advocate, and he's been on every board I can think of when it comes to black people. He's a pan-Africanist as well. He's been all over Europe, the Caribbean, the Americas, and all continents, giving lectures on American African history. He's a Ghanaian as well. He's from Ghana. Brilliant guy. I think he was born in the 60s. But let's get into it. His first topic gonna be what is Africa spirituality. Let's go. Boom.
When we talk about what feeling, but what are we talking about when we say what feeling? We talk about internal and external harmony and balance. If we were using Omanala in the Igbo town, we talk about internal and external harmony and balance. That's what you're trying to restore. That's what your philosophy should have been bring about, both in your character and the family character and the community character. That's what you're trying to do. And that means to seek harmony with nature and cosmology as well as humans and in your ecology. That's
Hear that beat? Touch the soul.
We've got medical books written in ancient Kemet where they're doing brain surgery, where they're doing obstetrics, where they're doing other kind of abdominal medicine, books written back then by
the beat, those drums.
Science and technology. When we left Africa to come to the Western Hemisphere as enslaved, captured people, because we never agreed to slavery. We weren't a part of making any laws that said if you captured me, I'm a slave. So I was never a slave. My ancestors was never a slave.
Feeling that,
That's in the mind of some other crook who stole me, who captured me, who stole my labor, who stole my wealth. I did not make any law that tells him if he captured me, I'm a slave. So why are we going to let him set the narrative that defined who we were? Because that's not who we were. We were Africans who had been falsely set upon. What happened to us was what they call human trafficking today. This was a criminal offense then. Under universal principles and law, it is a criminal offense now.
Stick up in. Did you hear what I said earlier when he said that there was books written by Africans way before colonialism and Westerners came to Africa back in ancient time? Because remember, back in the days, they didn't have paper, but you notice African history is written on walls all over Africa and the African continent. That's been destroyed by now. But if you go in museums, you see all these art. So you know whoever did this art is talented people. They said they did brain surgery and abdominal surgery. And there was words written, but not in like how we see it on paper. It was different from the language then. But and yet they say that black people are savages and we can't read and write. But yet we have all this. Check any museum worldwide whose art they have in museums worldwide right now, present day, and see. Since as we are this backward people, why all the most expensive art and most covered things is from Africa? Because we were very brilliant, smart set of people. But anyway, let's continue. But that beat, that drums.
Are we letting somebody rewrite history by claiming he can make a law that can govern me, and I have nothing to do with making the law? That's not the way it works. This not the African law.
Where do the stories of the Bible comes from?
And so, if you go back to the African ancient books, you will find every story in the Bible.
Look at that's our book back in the day. That's our books there, right there.
Some of the same characters at a different time in history. You find the Cain and Abel story where the envious, jealous brother Cain would kill out of envy his brother Abel. So you will find that same story in ancient African literature thousands of years earlier, where the brother Set would kill his brother Osiris out of envy and jealousy. And there was never anybody named Set or anybody named Osiris, just like there was never anybody named Cain and never anybody named Abel. It is a story about envy and jealousy at any time in the consciousness of humanity demonstrating itself and manifesting itself, right? And so those are just a few of the things. You can go further and you can see stories like the Immaculate Conception. You know, matter of fact, the Ethiopian New Year, which is celebrated on the 11th of September, is all about the Immaculate Conception. But nobody really, even many Ethiopians no longer know what their holidays really are. Okay? And the holiday is about the day when this woman resurrects her husband, which is the Lazarus story or the Jesus Easter story, and it's animated by the real thing, the energy, the divinity. When this body, when this group of elements have spent itself, depleted itself, and broken down, what happens to the energy that is you?
Stick up in. You see, um, if for my subscribers who is on my channel for a while now, right? I'm not a Christian. I don't believe in Christianity in its modern form. I've always said this because the stories them don't make no sense to me, and it's just ridiculous with some of the things they're putting in. For me, they created this modern day translation of the Bible to entrap people's mind and use it they use the Bible to make black people forgive everybody who wronged them throughout the history, because everything in the Bible is about forgiveness and turning the cheek and all of that crap. But anyway, but I do believe some of the stories was actual stories, but it's not no divine divinity. As he said with the Cain and Abel story, it wasn't a specific person that was talking about. They were more talking about the greed and envy, where envy will always overpower greed. Greed and envy and greed always overpower good. Because throughout history, evil people have always been rulers and been ruling, so the good don't always win. Because if otherwise Africa wouldn't be colonized and enslave some black people if good had overcome evil at all times. So that doesn't work. But this is very eye-opening. That's why I'm not gonna pass this too much. So let's see what is the next, and is what is spirit is the next thing he's gonna say. So let's continue.
My grandmother was dying, and I went home. My grandmother raised all of us, and my mother and father was in the house. My mother and father more like brothers and sisters. My grandmother and grandfather, they were the bosses. My great grandmother, she was even more than boss. And so when Mama was dying, and Mama was a traditionalist, we call her root woman, that was South Carolina. And so my mother called and said, if you want to see, you need to come home quickly. So I jumped on a plane and I flew to South Carolina. And I got to her bedside. And she asked everybody to leave the room. So I said, oh Lord, what's going on? And she told me, she said, James, she used to call me James. Because in certain African language, you can't, the word J don't exist. You don't pronounce it. Her J was a G. And she said, James, I want to go home. I said, well, Mom, you don't have to stay here. I thought she wanted to go back home to the house. You know? I said, I'll tell her now to take you home. You could die there. She said, oh, no, I don't want to go back there. She said, I want to go home. Now, I got a little scared, like, but then I come up. She said, come take me up out of here. She told me to come and take that spirit.
The music is a little bit high.
I was so scared, I did not know. I just was so glad my parents were not. And I remember putting my two arms.
Hercules, don't start. Come the barking.
And she took a deep breath. And she was calm. She said, you can tell the others to come with you. And I did. And the next day I flew back to New York. And I called that woman and I said, oh, after you left last night, Mama was sitting up there eating grits and catfish. And she was just having a good time talking about Pete and all of them. And while she's talking to me, Mama passed. We give that something we call it the ghost. That energy finds another being to reside in until it gets this new body. Or it could reside in your ecology because it's energy. You go back and merge with the greater force of energy in the total universe. But if you don't complete your journey because you're down here fooling around with all the negative and sliding and dying, then you got to come back and repeat the process. But all
That's a little bit chilling.
is done. The whites took from that the concept called purgatory. If you study your history and make the rest of the world so simple, it's just make it all so simple.
What is the African view on love? Now this is gonna be interesting. You stick up in the noises that noise music they choose is kind of annoying. Anyway, but spirit, they do they exist? Yes. Is it how the Christianity portrays it to be? I don't think so. Because quick side note, quick story. I remember a couple of years ago when I was in Jamaica, this boyfriend and girlfriend, the boyfriend passed, right? And within 2 days' time, you still have this. I saw this big crowd, and everybody wondering what is that crowd. When I check, they're hearing the boyfriend voice coming through the girl mouth, and then when that started to spread, you have people taking busload of people and cars coming from all different area in Jamaica just to see if it's real or if it's fake. And when they come, they literally you can hear the guy voice coming through his girlfriend mouth, and a priest came there to try to expel the spirit, and you only see stones starting to. You have to believe it. If you don't see it, you wouldn't believe it. So that, I don't like to tell this story because most time people don't believe it. But I sorry, them times I couldn't afford. There was no camera phones then. Cause this was like in the 94, 95. Yeah, 95, 96, somewhere there. So there was no. We didn't have access to camera and phones them time. But this bring me back. What he said about this piece, my mother spirit come, that bring me back to that time. Anyway, let's see what he say. What he talk about love.
In the African sense, love is not loving your body or loving your looks or loving your personality. African love the God in them, which they have spent their whole life cultivating, meaning those Africans who live in our senses, because we all of our senses both at home and here. That's the colonialism and slavery, but we're coming back. It is the God in me that seeks the God in you because I know the God in me and thus I can recognize the God in you.
That makes sense.
They make us think love is about the shape of your hips, the contours of your face, the color of your clothing, the type of hairstyle, the smoothness of a personality presentation. Most people who present their personality is putting the best foot forward. And it's almost always false. You know? And all of us have been there. I thought I was in love so many times. I know my passion and my love can give you the capacity to make it at that level and create. Every human being you know is created by human beings.
Let me wait a little.
Going to somebody's face.
I have a thought.
You want to look and treat God like God is God. Look in the mirror.
That's what I said.
There's nothing you know about God that doesn't come from the mind of a man.
It's
nothing
in you.
It's scary because it's so much more comfortable to give it away to some external esoteric essence that don't have to take responsibility for anything.
I don't know where this white Jesus come from.
Somebody defeated us militarily and then decided to tell us who we are and who we are not.
Facts.
And to the degree we don't know who we were, we buy into the who we are not.
Exactly.
And everybody takes a piece of our story and make it their story and tell us we have no story.
Let me stop, because that's the way finish. Oh, before I go any further, I took this video from the Building 7 channel. Go check him out. He have a few more stories there, but That's where I get this mood. I will put the link in the description to his channel so you can go and check it out. So what he said about love, very few people have experienced genuine love. We have 8 billion people on the planet, and as this is my estimation, less than 25% of the planet of that 8 billion people. So let's say out of that 8 billion, I would say maybe 2.5 or 2 billion people that we have who actually fell in love, right? Genuine love, love to the point where it's innate. It has no. I'm gonna give you an example. Like I believe, like for instance, Will Smith and Jada Pickett, right? Husband and wife. That's genuine love, but not with each other. If you get my drift. Will Smith have genuine love for his wife. That's why she can do so much of craziness and he still with her because he's that's authentic, genuine love. Jada Pickett no doesn't have that same love for him, but you do have that love for Tupac. She loved Tupac with all her soul. That's why she could never bond with Will Smith. It does that two people who's very deeply in love, but not with each other. With someone, well, one is in love with the other, and one is in love with someone else. Like in this case, Tupac. So for me, that's how why you could look at that as a genuine love. Because even though she's with Will and she married for someone she doesn't have kids for him, she still don't have that love for him that she have for Tupac. That's a genuine. But people, a lot of people know is about I feel I it's like and my spirit take you at this time. Cause I hear 2 years down the line, I don't like it anymore, you're gone. So it's not that love is not coming from the depth of your soul. That's just from here and here. So so yeah, that was and now don't forget what he said as well with our African history. You see, every time a colonizer or a westerner comes and colonize whether it's Ghana or the Congo or Namibia or Senegal or whichever, wherever we just pick a country. What they do, they destroy everything and then tell you that you don't have a history, you don't have a culture, and then they enforce their Western religion, which is Christianity, like the pig, which is the Catholic Church and the those kind of people, and they enforce this white Christ, this white Jesus in God's into our ancestors, and then they in turn now who some accept it, some didn't, because that's kind of Africa is a continent, but in the sense that Africans didn't worship no white God, no white Jesus, because every nation have a different God. Some have worship the forest, some worship the moon, some worship the sun, some worship the star. So, for example, in Jamaica, when Christopher Columbus came to Jamaica in the 14th century, right, and he booted upon the local, the indigenous people, which is the Arawaks, the Red Indians, the Maroons. Remember, at that time, the Maroons and the Arawaks they worship the moon, but because Columbus knew these dogs, man, they started barking. Because Columbus knew there was gonna be an eclipse, he threatened the indigenous people that he gonna take away the god, which is the moon, because they didn't want to give him any food because they were starving and hungry and they didn't know water. So the indigenous people refused him to give them anything. But because Christopher Columbus knew about the solar eclipse, he threatened them and said that I want to take your moon from you in 2 days, and if you don't give me anything, you have to give me everything before I'll give you back your moon. And so said, so done. The eclipse happened. They come and they bow down to him and say, yes, we're going to give you anything you want. So he take everything from the plants, the trees, all the fruit trees, and bring it back to Spain. And all the gold and everything they found, they just take. And then he give them an eclipse and say, look, I'll give you back your moon. And then so comes Jamaica get colonized. So it's done all over Africa where they destroy a civilization and then enforce there in it. So luckily we have a few black scholars and lecturers and professors who actually dig back down into history and found the proof of what we believe in and what to do and then bring it back to the forefront. That's why I like to do these videos to make African people know that we were a brilliant set of people. We have art, we have medicine, we had we have builders, we have everything you can think of. It was in Africa. 'Cause up to today, they are still finding cities in Africa. So who built these cities? It have to be the indigenous people of that land, because even some of the enslavers, they used to write letters and draw what they saw and send it back home to show how they are amazed by the structure, the palaces and things they are seeing. So again, they destroyed all of our history. Well, most of it they tried to, but it didn't work because we had some serious warrior kings back in those days, like um, King Shangamir Dombo, um, Shaka from the Zulu nation. You have King Nakawana. He defeated the Portuguese in the Congo, and they returned back slaves to him. And a few more kings there is, but that's what saved us, and that's why we can still find some of our history. And it was buried as well, because of it, cause they find cities now that was buried, so that's one of the next thing with the same drawing and the art and everything. So yes, I'm happy I did this. I hope you all enjoy this and learn something from this video. Anyway, don't know what it is. It's the Washington SXN podcast. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click the like button. It helps with the algorithm. Anyway, you don't know what it is. Peace, one love, boom.